Opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and not WSTU. WSTU does not endorse any products mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this podcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU.
The Treasure Coast longest-running local talk radio show is on the air. The Treasure Coast Forum. Get interested, get educated, get involved, and give us a call with your opinions at 220-9788. And here's your host of the Treasure Coast Forum.
Hello, you're listening to 1450 WSTU, Martin County's Heritage Station. I'm your host today, John, and I'm here with Nono and Mr. Frank. Say hi, y'all.
Yo, hey. John, we missed you so much.
It has been a long while.
Yes, I'm so happy you're back. Of course, you know, with the occasional me screaming at John through the hallways. John.
I love the before air stories.
Very endearing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So for our listeners, Nono's big deal during school is to try to embarrass John as much as she can whenever he is within eyeshot, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You know, there was this one time I saw him twice in 1 week, which is like this whole entire week I saw him 2 times, which is a record, you know, from like last year when I would always see him coming from our English class. But the first time was in his math class. We both have the same math teacher. And that was actually, that was the day I got tardy sweeped.
Really?
That was, yes.
Oh
yes,
my God.
Because I forgot my lunchbox. And
no,
so
I saw that, yeah.
Yes, and so that's why I walked into that class.
So you know her lunchbox.
Oh yes, I can attest now.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yo, that's like fate intertwining us. Oh my goodness. Anyways, so I walk into the class. Like I see like a glimpse. John has like this outfit. I know his shirt.
I have an outfit.
He has an outfit, and he was wearing a like a teal blue shirt.
Nice.
And like his usual khaki shorts. Nice. And then I just saw like a flash of blue, and my jaw dropped. And I was mid conversation ranting with my friend about being tardy sweeped, and then she's looking over at me like, why does she look so shocked? Like what is going on? I walk into a classroom and everybody stares at me, and I'm just like, hi John.
You see, now I'm going to have to use this energy and do it to her.
Yes. There you go.
It's very endearing.
Yes. No. But then the best thing happened was that yesterday was open house, and we're gonna talk about that today too. And then John did the sweetest thing. I didn't even see him, and he came walking up to me. He's like, "Hi, Nono," and I was like, John, I'm so happy to see you.
It's good to see her.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was like running around the place too. I was like
hard to
running.
imagine.
Yeah, I am terrible at running, but
Are you?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, running is so hard. I definitely struggle, but I do it with purpose, and I did it with purpose. But then John just came out of nowhere, and I was so happy. I was like, yay. So John and I are one iconic duo that I wish would last.
Aww.
But it's okay. I make my moments meaningful whenever I see him. That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very good. So we had a few things go on in the science world. Do you want to talk about that, or?
I don't know which ones you're going to bring
up. How about AI?
Ooh, Elon Musk and the robot?
Yeah.
It's like a fairy tale story. Elon Musk and the magical robot.
Right?
Honestly, the only thing I know about Elon Musk is the whole entire like Tesla and cryptocurrency world that's going on. Yeah. My dad is like big on it, and my friend's dad is also big on it, and my brother was like forced to get into it. So I just hear everything about Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Safe Moon. Yeah. So that's all I hear. But
my classmates are investors too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I have like 2 in my TOK class, and they kind of just saying like, "Oh yeah, Dogecoin." One of them was like Question Coin or something. He's like, "How's that doing?" And I'm like,
"Wow, no, that's amazing. Okay, you can make a lot of money from that stuff." But anyways, I digress. Back to Elon Musk.
Well, back to Elon Musk. Okay, so I believe it was like one of the Thursday meetings. It was it was like some Tesla Thursday thing they do. And Elon Musk kind of announced, I think it might have been in passing or something. I just caught a glimpse of this. He was like, our next project that's kind of going to be setting off is Humanoid Ais.
Yes. Yes. So I actually pulled down a video, and let's see if I can find it.
Well, in the meantime, I was kind of reading up on it. It was like kind of have them perform like basic functions and stuff like cleaning, vacuuming, all that.
Mhm.
Right.
And then
It's like your personal manservant, right? Mhm.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Interesting.
So here we go. Here's just a little bit.
And should you believe him? Musk got up on stage on Thursday and promised that Tesla, a company whose driver assist software is quite reliable, would soon build a fully functioning humanoid robot. He said that the machine would be able to follow human instructions intuitively, responding correctly to commands like, please go to a store and get me the following groceries. He outlined these scenarios and then said, yeah, I think we can do that. To put Musk's claims in context, remember that Boston Dynamics, a company which makes Atlas, the most advanced bipedal robot in the world, has never described its machines as anything but R&D. Atlas, says Boston Dynamics, is simply a way to push the cutting edge of robotics. It's not even close to commercial deployment. In recent videos of the machine, the company showed how difficult building a bipedal robot is and how often Atlas trips and falls. It's also worth noting that Boston Dynamics has been working on Atlas and its bipedal predecessors for more than a decade.
Yeah.
Musk thinks he can
Oh,
leap.
Anyways,
my goodness.
Yeah, so it goes on, but pretty interesting stuff that he thinks by 2022.
it was 2022.
Next year.
Are
What
you
are you
kidding
trying-
me?
Next year.
Just like a year.
Next year.
Yes. So his thinking is that his cars are basically sentient, practically sentient on wheels. That they're very intuitive about, and they're going strictly. Here's the real rub. The cars were using all this other equipment to read with radar, and there's all this other elaborate equipment you can put on a vehicle to sense the surroundings, right? And they decided they can do a better job with cameras. They're actually writing the software to be so intuitive that even when if the camera sees something in motion, and it goes behind something, it understands that it will come out the other side. So the computer's already that advanced.
That's very
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait. I can't even imagine the math and the science that goes into that. Oh
Exactly.
my goodness.
Yeah.
But okay, John, I know you're like a gamer person.
I'm a gamer.
So please, yeah, but have you seen Detroit Become Human?
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
have. I was actually thinking of that.
Okay, no, me too.
Mhm.
Because so this game
Yeah.
called Detroit Become Human, it takes place in Detroit. obviously.
Imagine that.
And it's about Detroit has a stereotype of being economically depressed, but that's even furthered with the idea that now you have human servant robots that look like actual people. They are very realistic.
There's like a TV series. I've been watching that.
Really?
Yeah. it's
Oh, I guess the concept has been around
Yeah.
a while, but this game takes a spin of like how you take. And the robots are it's shifted into being one of the main causes for why Detroit is so economically depressed and why all over the US there's no more jobs anymore since these robots are so advanced.
Right.
And you see like through three protagonists, I'm pretty sure, of the game. One of them is actually like a police officer or something like that,
Yeah.
like a detective. And he specifically, along with another character, become like the leaders of almost like a rebellion of the robots. And hearing that in a year, wow.
It's like
It's
him with cat
as a
people.
kid,
Yeah.
it's always seemed like, it's like fiction, it's imaginary. But
Hmm.
I'm just watching that video. The listeners can't see it, but
Right.
seeing that's fantastic technology.
Yeah.
And the fact that we might actually reach a point where it might be like the show that you're watching or Detroit Become Human, where we're looking like we're in the store and we can't tell what's robot and what's human. The future, wow.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
wow. I'm kind of speechless. It's
Right.
just ooh,
Cool.
interesting.
Okay, well, on that note, how do you feel about the entire like AI being maybe having emotions and stuff?
Well, then that's gonna bring up. I feel like
Like it'll bring up an entire new problems because you created it
Yes.
and now it has sentient consciousness.
and then it also comes into the form like our America within itself, along with like the rest of the world, already has issues rooted in treat how you should treat others. You know, you
It
have
can be like a modern day slavery almost.
yes, or just things of like, you know, we have rights too. Like we deserve to do this just like this group is able to do. We should be able to live freely and be able to think and choose our own path and destiny in our lives. And that was also one of the biggest things that this game was hindering, like
Yes.
pushing on is just
Yes.
you know, us robots, that now we have the ability to be human. It doesn't necessarily make us human, but we should be able to at least experience life like a human, which is interesting. So it's like, you know, you don't have blood and you don't
Right.
beat a human heart, yet you're so much like me. So do you deserve the same chance to live the life that I have? You know?
Interesting thing. So many years ago, there was a Star Trek Next Generation episode, and they actually dealt with this topic. And there's a fictional character called Data on this show, and he is an android officer on the bridge of the spaceship, right? And there was a robotics engineer that wanted to learn and study him more to make more robots that they can put into other starships, but he was unique. He was truly a sentient being that was artificial. Okay. And but so the whole conversation, the whole theme of the show dealt with was he a toaster or was he a person with rights and privileges? And a fascinating episode. And it really, I would encourage you, you can probably find it on YouTube, but it's a good show to watch, good episode. And it really deals with that topic. And this is something that we've been thinking about as a civilization for many years, you know?
Yeah.
So, and it was treated very well in this particular episode, I thought.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna have humanoid robots, but where are the hoverboards?
Yeah.
Flying cars.
Right?
Oh man.
Coming.
Where are those? Oh, wow.
Back to the future.
Oh well, exactly. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm gonna steal things over from you really
Go
quick.
ahead,
And
go-
we'll
go-
jump back to you.
Go ahead.
I just really wanted to talk about open house because, like I said, I was running around everywhere. I was representing two groups, and that was my choir group, which I absolutely love. I love choir. I'm in the school's highest choir. They're called Carillon, and that is like my second home. I love choir so much. I love to sing. And my other home at Southwark is also youth and government, which John is also a part of. So but I also got to walk around and talk to a lot of other people. And you know what? I just have to teaser this, that we might be having some new special guests coming on. And because I saw these clubs, one of them being Spanish National Honor Society. I've already been a part of that, but I felt really bad since I can't always be involved with them, with college coming around and whatnot. So I was like, you know what? Let's just collaborate. You know, the radio show is my way of opening things up to you. Let's get some of you on here. And there's another club called the Gay Straight Alliance. Rachel, who was one of our guest stars who came on here in place of John, she's a part of that group. So, you know, we'll probably be bringing in some other people just for some future collaborations and some other clubs as well, just to, you know, get a good outreach in the community and the school. But yeah, John, how did you like your open house?
Well, I went with my parents, so it was a bit different. I wasn't particularly representing any club. I'm part of a bit of clubs. I'm part of YIG. I'm trying to join other clubs such as Key. I might join Spanish Honor Society. I'm trying to get into drama and stuff. But I thought it was fairly good this year.
Yeah.
Like all the clubs were out, even if it wasn't that big, most of them were there. Even like Spam, I saw what was it? Rowing? Was there
Yeah,
even
sailing. There was also
sailing? They had a
ROTC.
420 out too.
Yeah, I was absolutely amazing. The band was there playing like
Oh yeah, the
Seven
drum line was
Nation
really good.
Army. Yeah, the drum line, yes. So I was just so happy, especially it's like it's a breath of fresh air after, you know,
All the COVID.
Zoom and nobody's at school and the South Fork being like this barren
I'm so
area.
surprised. There's so many
nobody.
kids this year.
Yeah, it's crazy, you know, and I'm kind of happy about it. I'm really happy. So that was open house was really nice. I really liked that. But John, I'm gonna hand things back over to you. Got anything?
Well, Mr. Frank, do you have any other technology you would like to talk about? Because I have a feeling I probably missed some within the last like.
Yeah, I
3
didn't get
weeks.
any emails. I'm being honest with you.
There were so many things that I wanted to pass along over the past week. I need to get your email because I have to send them to No, and she has to forward it on to you.
You have my you have my phone number.
Oh
No, I
man,
don't.
oh
No,
man.
you do.
I don't.
Wait, you don't?
Oh man, oh man.
Okay.
No, Mr. Frank and I, we talk.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, he totally grilled me about last week's show on Old Iron Sides.
Yes, and you never
Sadly.
gave me an answer.
No, I did. I said it was something about protecting pirates
All right.
and
right.
it held the
Pirates?
original Constitution.
No. The name of the ship was the Constitution.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So is the USS Constitution, and it was it was President Jefferson sent it to deal with the Barbary pirates, right?
Mhm.
So that was
They were French, right? I think.
no.
Oh, okay.
But do you remember? It was probably before your time, but there not too many years ago, there was an incident where there were pirates that were bothering nautical trade traffic, and so we had to send our Navy SEAL team out there and to deal with those guys. So, but,
Oh wow.
yeah, it's pretty interesting. There's a long and storied history there.
Yeah. Text me again. I'll have that exact answer for you the next time you quiz me. I will. Anyways, so no technology from you, no science, no nothing.
There's just a lot of stuff going on with the with Mars. The
rover should have reached the destination by now, right?
They
should have by
the
now.
Chinese Mars landing is doing very well. There were new images have come out of that vehicle, and they can only send out like 16 bits per minute, so it takes a long time to assemble an image. But and they have to wait till their orbiting spacecraft is overhead before they can upload the data. So, but there's some very interesting things that space craft roving craft really is learning on the surface of Mars. So Jeff Bezos said something pretty interesting, because he kind of poo-poos the whole Elon Musk thing about wanting to get to Mars, right? And he says you should go to the top of Mount Everest and spend about a year there. He says because that's a garden spot next to what it's like to be on Mars. So that's his. So that is food for thought. That's why he is totally off the whole Mars thing.
Wait, no, but like it's two different environments completely, right?
Yes and no. I mean, so you got a very thin atmosphere
Yes.
at the top of Mount Everest. In fact, it's probably a good idea to bring oxygen with you.
Yeah.
So it's extremely cold, very windy. The atmosphere density is a little bit less, very thin air. And yet, so it would be representative of an idea what Mars would be like, but Mars would be order of magnitude many times worse than that.
Oh, wait, this reminds me. I was doing thing for Miss Alvier for Spanish.
Love that teacher.
It was basically write about a episode or a movie you watched. I read an article from CNN. It was something about there was like a Mars project on Earth that's going on. They were selecting like 4 candidates, and there was like going to be a test Martian habitat for 3 years. And I think in like California or something.
Yeah.
So that's going on. You hear about that?
Well, and they've attempted this for many times, and and each time it failed miserably.
Really?
Yeah, they had to do do-overs. They had people that had to leave.
Do you know why?
It was many different reasons. Some of the habitats weren't built properly for some of the things, so they had to do a do-over. And then there were some people that had some medical issues. So they had to, So the idea is lock the doors. You can't come out. You got a whole year. You got to be there.
I think this one's 3
or whatever whatever the
Wow.
time frame is. But they each time they did it, it failed.
I hope it works.
Because it is very,
It's
very,
very brutal.
yeah. Because you got to do all your own problem solving. There is no outside stuff that come in, which they had to do with the previous attempts. So it's wow. Yeah, it's a much more. And one of the things that these Tesla bots that Elon Musk is visioning would be to send a shipload of those there to prepare the habitat before people would arrive.
Mm.
You don't have to worry about air. You don't have to worry about
True.
food. They would just be mission centric, and then they could build a habitat. And really, the big problem is having the Martian lander, right? So they're building a lunar lander, and probably the Martian lander will be some similar variant of that. But landing on a unprepared surface, like a Martian surface, that's risky. You're going to have adjustable legs. There's a lot of weight involved that you're having to have a lot of delta V to move all this equipment, right? So I think the good thought would be is if you could send equipment over and have them prepare a better landing platform before the people arrive. So that way they'd have a ship that could land and then easily depart if necessary.
Yeah.
So I like that.
You know what? That brings to mind something that I experienced today in my IB music class. And so when it comes to space, right, since there's no like air,
That's
Right.
correct.
that means that technically
It's a
there is no
vacuum.
sound.
Yeah.
Correct?
Correct.
Star Wars
So,
wouldn't exist.
Today we
They can't hear you scream in space. That's
right?
Yeah.
So today we listened to a 4-minute and 33-second long video, or that's what it was called, something like that, by William Marks. If you want to look it up, and it's this man. I don't know. So he goes up to this piano, and then he lifts it up, and then he closes it, and he goes over to this thing, and he taps it, and then it's just pure silence. Well, it wasn't pure silence because in the recording there was like people talking or like shuffling, and but the essence of it was to try and get what actual silence is. And I just and then so my music teacher said something crazy that what inspired this, because like I said, it's just 4 minutes of this man at this piano doing nothing, and then at the end of it he stands up and everybody's applauding him, and everybody in my class was like, what is going on? But he said that what inspired William Marks, I think, to do this was that he went inside of one of those space testing centers, something, right? To feel what no air is like, if that makes sense. I'm not a very sciencey person.
Okay.
So and he was like, after he comes out, he's like, there's something wrong with your testing center or whatever he was in, because he's like, I can hear the sound of like water rushing, and it's supposed to be sound, like there's not supposed to be any sound because again there's no air. And then so the researchers were just like, yeah, that's the sound of your own blood. Like coursing
my
through.
God.
Yeah. Right?
That's the twist.
So that's something. I've never thought of that before.
Yeah.
That
You hear
when
your
you're
own
in
body
space.
noise. Yeah. You hear within your brain, within your
Mm.
ears from your body, the vibrations, because that's real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's just something that I've never even thought about when it comes to space, putting people on Mars, which will be a future for us soon. So that's just
2030, 2050 is what they're looking at.
Oh my
For
god.
real.
Do you think some crazy nuthead is gonna be like, they faked the Mars landing?
sure.
Oh my god.
Of course.
In 4K. No.
In
There's
4K.
still
Yeah.
people out there that believe they're flat Earth people too,
Yeah.
Mhm.
They faked the moon landing.
Yes,
Oh, I've
yeah.
seen all of it.
right?
But that should be a segment for another day since we are
Yes.
going into our break.
Yes,
Correct?
we are.
All right, so stay tuned because my next topic comes from last week since I never got to finish it, but I'm actually following up this time. It's on hypergamy and femininity. So stay tuned and we'll get
Okay.
into it.
Okay, I like it.
Welcome back, John. You should just went for it.
What?
He wanted to introduce
I don't-
us guys, but it's okay.
fine.
Since I'm
I
taking
wasn't
things
sure.
over, it's okay. You know, we respect a polite man. But that's actually what we're going to be talking about. Oh, the foreshadowing. So last week, I was talking about the concept of hypergamy and femininity and this new movement of our generation of men going their own way. And I deeply believe that these movements have they, you know how it's funny. This is like a parallel. In school, I've always heard that communism is good on paper, but never in practice. Right? I've always heard
Yeah.
that. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong, but that's just something I've always heard. And so then when looking at this type of ideology that seemed to sprung out of the internet, to me it's just, it sounds good on paper, but it's not good in practice because of human feelings, you know, life, and how it's sometimes hard to change who you are, you know, and who you want to be and your values and your core. So because John, you weren't here, hypergamy is the action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of a superior sociological or educational background. So this movement is very popular. This is more on the woman's side of things, and it's popular among people of color, specifically African Americans. At least that's what I've been seeing, because I've been following this phenomenon for at least like a few months now, because I'm very curious by it. And you know, it's very real world things, and self-work and Stewart only gives us so much of the real world. So and there's so many people. There's been statistics. Like one of the ones I found is that apparently only 1 in 4 black women will marry a quality husband, while the statistics for their white counterparts are either being married to or will be married to a quality husband. And those statistics are doubled the 1 in 4. So it's like, oh, so it's like come into this lifestyle, come, you know, it's drawing you in. And on the woman's side of things, what they teach, because I've been watching these videos and seeing their ideologies, they act like and they swear by the fact that they know how a man thinks. Okay, and this is important for you, John.
That's,
This is important for you, John. So
All
we're
right,
gonna get
okay.
nitty gritty with it. Okay, so they will say like a quality husband who makes a lot of money. You know, he wants a woman to be able to speak really soft and really quiet and be able to be like please and thank you and very, you know, right? It's weird.
No, that's scaring me. Oh.
No, it's true. And the YouTubers that I see, like they break down, they have 20-30 minute long videos analyzing feminine woman, quote unquote, around feminine, because what truly is feminine? Like what is the beauty standard? Who knows? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Femininity could be have more to do with the care and nurturing.
Mm-hmm.
Women are generally more adept at that. I think
Mm-hmm.
men find it more difficult. Men can be caring and nurturing, but it's
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's our nature.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's I don't think it's a natural trait. I think it's something that can be taught.
Mm-hmm. But you see, the thing with the feminine movement or this femininity movement is the fact that it doesn't come from a place of who you are at your core. So like you said that you think women in nature tend to be more motherly, but you know, we have to also think of the fact that there are some women out in the world who were raised in an environment where they could not be as motherly as somebody else. You know, there's a trends of like the mom friend and like the protective friend and the chaotic friend and things like that. Everybody has their own traits at the end of the day. So, and that makes up who they are. But I like when getting into the nitty gritty of this, there are YouTubers who are like, oh, you have to be able to manipulate your voice and say certain things or use like the power of suggestion where it's like you say, oh, I just wish I had this. And then you make it seem like the other person miraculously came up with the idea to give you something or like a gift or for an example. It's very manipulative and it's scary, you know, and it's convincing younger woman like me and the thousands of people who follow it to not seek for true love, to not seek being a better person. Yes, true self. Not to want to change and to be better, not for a physical appearance, not for the lifestyle of, you know, being rich and having gold toilets and being able to go out and spend $3,000 and not have to worry about it, you know, but rather that, you know, you build who you are, you build your character, and everything you do it with meaning and purpose, and not because of what it'll bring you tomorrow, but because of how it makes you feel today. You know, and it's kind of scary because I think, like I said, it comes from a place of insecurity. These women will tell you. So me personally, I've always struggled with my hair. I permed my hair years ago, and I didn't know how to take care of it, and it was awful. Okay, and I lost my hair, and now I take pride in like doing things with my hair and like wearing an afro. Sometimes you guys see me. I change my hair like every other week, every 2 weeks, and you know, but according to these women, if I go out in braids, that's not feminine enough, or that's not good enough, or that doesn't make me pretty or a woman or this or that. Or if I wear an afro, it's like, no, you should have straight hair in order to get in the world or be able to be successful and have a good job and have people respect you. And that's not to say looks don't matter, but it's like that's not only
that's superficial stuff.
Exactly. Or it's just it's really disheartening, and people actually buy into this, and I'm like, so where in the core of the message is like, who is this for? Because it's not for you. You know, why would you feel the need to dress up and be able to manipulate your voice like this and then talk like this and then be able to do something else and speak a different way and speak that way in order to manipulate a situation? And that doesn't even need manipulation. You know, like sometimes you have to be able to talk your way out of things, you know, for your own good.
Yeah.
Right? Right? But I mean, for something as like love, you know, the person you're going to get married to, spend your life with, to always be manipulative like that, in a sense, to get what you want, to why? Like I'm looking at you, John. Why?
Well, I don't know.
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay.
But
Poor
it's
John.
it's really disheartening. And then so on the other side of things,
Right.
with men,
Oh,
they
there we go.
what
There
I
we
mentioned
go.
is men going their own way.
Yeah.
This is an anti-feminist, misogynistic,
Mhm.
according to Google, mostly online community that's advocating for men to separate themselves from women, from a society where they believe that they are being corrupted by feminism. So it's like, okay, so on this side, then I've seen it all over the internet. I've
Right.
seen it where guys are like, I told her her hair was nice and she didn't want to go on a date with me. So women are terrible. It's things like that. It's like, I'm the nice guy and she's obligated to love me because I helped her pick up her books that one day.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, yeah. I mean, so yeah. What happens with with young love, right? You find somebody, it's really a crush, right? You've heard the term crush, right?
yes.
So, it takes a long time to fully understand the depth of what relationship love is all about.
And that's why me personally, I don't like jumping into things like that. And my friends do, and that's their lifestyle. I
Right.
mean, they can
Right.
they'll learn to mature and
they're
do things one day,
experimenting, yes.
experiment, yes.
Mhm.
But I mean, these are emotions. Like I said, we are human, and if you are pretending to, I'm not going to be with the woman because I was hurt because she didn't want to give me her number because I gave her a pencil one day in class.
Right.
And the other person or on the female side is like,
so what happens is these young, I don't even want to use the word, these young boys, they have a great imagination, and then they think, they scenario out, what a relationship with another person would be like, and then they fall in love with that whole
idea rather than the person, right?
Yeah. And then they get disappointed because the relationships don't match their expectations. So maybe it's just a good idea to drop the facades, be who you are, see what happens, and just kind of enjoy the chaos.
Exactly. No, it's
Right?
true.
I agree.
And it goes so much more than that, because then when you take it away from these movements, right, of like for example hypergamy, like I'm going after the rich and lavish lifestyle, like when you even move it away
for 5 minutes,
right,
or till you change your mind.
And that's the funniest part too, because look, nothing in COVID is a perfect reminder that nothing is stable in this world.
Right.
One day we wake up one day and we're going to school and we're normal kids, and the next thing we can't even leave our house. Right. So who's to say that you're a rich CEO person, whatever, running XYZ business, that you manipulated your way into XYZ's heart? Who's to say that his business isn't going to go crumbling to the ground? And when you don't love him and your lifestyle of living lavish is gone, what do you do then? How do you live your life then? How does your life have meaning in that aspect now? What value do you have to this world in that sense? And that's, I don't know, because I think about it every day. I'm going off to college, and I want my life to mean something, even if it's not big. And I don't want it to mean like that. That's awful. Yeah. That's really awful. So
just stay true to your values. Keep pointing. Think of life as like a compass. Just keep pointing true north.
Nice. Not south? No, okay. Since I don't know where Miami is, and everybody's lit in Miami.
Now we know.
Throwback.
We know exactly the proper birthday present to give No, right?
Yes, November 30th.
Okay, compass.
Yes.
Compass.
John, I'm expecting my compass.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
That's perfect. All right.
Anyways, so are we going into break, or do I have some more time to go off?
Yeah, I think we probably.
Oh, okay. We'll come back because we're gonna talk about some more standards, and even a new epidemic.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It's okay. It's more of like a metaphorical epidemic, but still.
Okay.
I'll go into detail. Stay tuned.
All right. I love it.
Hello, and we're back from break. You're listening to WSTU 1450, and No, take it away.
Yeah, I am taking it away. Yes. So the epidemic that I alluded to in the past 2 minutes. So it's called the Bbl Epidemic. Can you guys?
BBL.
The BBL.
Does that come with lettuce and tomato?
Like the
don't know.
BLT?
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish. I wish it was
Right?
as delicious as that.
Yeah.
But try to guess, what does BBL stand for? It has to do with society's think Kim Kardashian.
Well,
BBL.
I have no idea. I had nothing to do with
Kim
her.
Kardashian.
Okay, Brazilian butt lift.
Okay, BBL could also be the abbreviation for barrel, like for a barrel of a gun. BBL is
Really?
it's an
Wow.
abbreviation for barrel. But there you go. But
The more you
Brazilian-
know.
yeah, Brazilian butt.
Butt lift. Mhm.
E.
Yeah, but we have to talk about it because
Why?
this blew up a month ago.
Yeah,
Do we-
with Mr. Frank.
No, it's
Why?
it's important because
I'm starting to sweat.
no, it is important
Do I-
because
Do I have to
It's-
turn off your mic pretty soon?
no, it's
Oh, okay.
important because
Okay.
it's actually concerning.
Okay.
No,
it's
of
a
course,
social problem.
yes,
Okay.
it is, and you know what? TikTok is the root of it. I'm always talking about TikTok, I guess now, even though I'm not on it. But I saw some concerning. I see videos on my feed.
People
'cause I
do
like
a
to
lot of
listen.
body. I don't want to use the word improvement. They
modification.
they destroy their bodies for some sort of weird notion of what they perceive as beauty.
Yes,
Mhm.
and the reason why they've been calling it the BBL epidemic is because it's happening on such a mass scale. And the thing is that it's a trend, and that's the problem.
Right.
And you know what? Like people like normal people who aren't like crazy or whatever, they don't care what you do to your body.
right.
But I think us as a society should not be supporting, because I don't think people understand that surgery overall
Right.
is dangerous. Whether you're doing it for like cosmetic or for health, you are putting your life at risk, and
Right.
it's not a joke.
Well,
So
Joan Rivers, she died as a result of doing surgery.
really,
Yeah. But
Wow.
yeah, so you make a very valid point. To back up further, none of these activities could happen unless the surgeon is willing to do the work.
Yes, and that's another problem too.
Yes, I
is
think
that-
that's really the crux of the problem, because if surgeons say, thank you, but no thank you, unless it's a medically necessary procedure, I don't think so. I mean, if I was a surgeon, that's the way I'd do business.
Yeah, but
you
I
know?
think you're also a very moral person because I mean they even have TV shows. There's one, I think it was on E network. It's like entertainment network. It was called Botched. It's very it's very popular.
Yeah.
Has multiple seasons.
Surgery's
and it's-
gone wrong.
Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much, and
Yeah.
that's its whole entire premise. And I mean, I just bring this up because it's just also something that's sad, and it's again, if you're doing it for yourself, but the thing is that I feel like society has more power over us than we think it does. And so when we see things like celebrities who are really pretty or who are idolized for their bodies, especially in a society that's very hypersexual, that especially the younger generation would want to aspire to look like, these celebrities. So for example, a few years ago, there was a whole entire Kylie Lip Jenner challenge, right? Where people were like putting cups to their lips to make it like explode and look like they got stung by bees. Like that was a whole entire trend. But nobody does that anymore. It's like these times come and go. Like the modes of fashion, the beauty standard, it's always shifting.
Right.
But the fact that this is so much, like this is, I mean, there are TikToks of people leaving the Dominican Republic, the Dominican Republic in wheelchairs. Like it's lines and lines of wheelchairs, just people in wheelchairs, waiting to go. And I mean, if you also think about the after, what you have to deal with after, before your body can even start the healing process from the surgery. I mean, you can't walk.
Right.
You're in pain. Oh my goodness, that's
Right. Well, yeah, that's
And-
you're talking about the gastrocnemius, which is one of your largest muscles, right?
Yeah. I mean, people
So,
have to
mhm.
wear stuff around their bodies in order to stop like their muscles and fat and skin from shifting and everything. It's terrifying. But again, there are some people they can go under, they can do it. But at the same, this is a trend. We're almost being peer pressured to look a certain way.
Right.
And we have to realize, and it goes back to that same question, who is this for?
Right.
Is it really for you, or are we just saying that it's because, yes, female empowerment, and I'm making my own decision to look better for my own self, which again is possible. I'm not saying that's not something that isn't true, but I also feel like our generation has strong body dysmorphia. Do you know what that is? Do you know, John?
It's kind of like it's not really ourself, like not our ideal.
Yeah, it's like an exaggerated way of viewing your own body. So a lot of people who suffer from mental illnesses, anorexia isn't a mental illness, but it stems from the mind. They'll often see themselves as really fat, even though they are extremely skinny.
That, yeah.
So, and that's just one example of body dysmorphia. I have friends who have body dysmorphia. I see it. It's on the internet. It's always talking about it. And again, society's beauty standards are very pressuring. So then when we see this, and everywhere you go, like even doctors are making podcasts about it, trying to bring awareness about it. They're saying, hey, like maybe we should at least go into these surgeries. Again, if you have the mindset that, it's for me, that you understand that this is almost life altering. It's
right.
And there are people who are saying like they don't even know what's natural anymore. They don't know what's unnatural. They don't know what's real, what's not real. And I feel like it all stems from a place of insecurity. And our world already has so many problems. We have systemic racism. I'm learning about this ethnography called In Search of Respect. You'll probably end up reading it soon, but it's about drugs. People they're doing drugs because they don't have a sense of agency. They feel as if they're in this cycle of poverty because of the system. People they go through hardships that are beyond their control, and that already also stems from a lack of respect between cultures, between races, between countries. And then now we have this problem where we're not even at peace with ourselves, where we feel the need to say, yes, I'm doing this for myself, but really I'm doing it so way I can be loved and appreciated by a world who's going to forget me by next week.
Okay.
I'm not going to be as iconic as I think I am, but I'm just going to do it just to try, And I was watching a video that really inspired me on this, and it was a final quote, and it was one of her last things that she said in her video. The girl's name is Madison Brown, and she's a woman of color, and she's really awesome. But she said that I don't get this mentality of, and I inserted this, is she doesn't get the mentality of getting a BBL, but also saying that you love your body because the whole point of surgery is to change your appearance. So why say that you thought that you were good enough before?
Right. Right.
And then that also just takes away from, and you mentioned doctors, right, and surgeons earlier.
Right.
There was a doctor who was on a podcast, and she was he was talking about how there are surgeons that aren't actually qualified at all to even be doing body modifications.
Right.
And if you're going to foreign countries as well, like Dominican Republic, you don't really know. You don't know.
Right.
Or
they got it in the back of a cereal box.
Yes.
Their diploma.
Yeah, you are their practice dummy.
Right.
You're the test. You're the test.
Yeah.
And it's scary. And who knows? Now we have artificial robots and things coming out, and it's it leads me to be like, what is the true purpose here? We need to be helping people. And we need to be caring about people. We need to be building communities, not destroying ourselves from the inside out. Again, if you want to, because you believe so, just don't be brainwashed by society. We already have so many people who don't live off of facts and knowledge, or at least if they lack knowledge, they don't go out to seek knowledge.
Right.
You should hear the stories that we were just talking about.
I read
it
on the
class.
computer. It must be true.
Yeah. Like we were talking about today in my math class, how, boys, apparently there are boys who like just go to school to just punch mirrors. There are no mirrors in the boys' bathroom. at all, apparently. Something like that. Because people don't take education seriously. People don't take learning seriously. And we have so many things we have to do in order to become better as a nation, and as people. But why put it on this? Why do we have to have the name the Bbl Epidemic? So just some food for thought, just some things to talk about.
It's very interesting.
It is, but hopefully we'll recover. Hopefully the trend will die out and people will learn and they'll bring awareness to it. So
yeah, well, thanks for bringing that to our attention. I had no idea people were doing some goofy surgical procedures, but
oh yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yikes.
Oh well, stay safe out there.
Yes,
Yeah.
We'll be back again next week.
Yep, next Thursday, like always.
All right, stay tuned for that, and we'll see you again. Thank you.
Bye.